Hello and welcome back to video number 4 of my Portugal to Brazil Paradox Interactive Historical Playthrough Mega Series. I'm Admiral Jedi. This is the 4th and final video of the EU4 segment of this before we move on to Victoria 3. And this one we are actually going to finally go from Portugal to ginormous Brazil. So if anybody's been watching these videos and been like, bro, I thought this was supposed to be about Brazil, not Portugal. Well, it's going to be. But like I've done with other mega series before, we play through the historical origins, usually as a colony or something like that of it. So anyway, we are going to get this video started. Now, I had wanted to end the previous video in the year 1720, just to stretch out the timeline there a little bit more. This one, I don't know how long this video is going to actually be. What I need to keep doing is waiting for a very specific event to happen. I'm not going to tell you what it is until it happens. And in the meantime, I'm going to be trying to do a couple of things. I'm going to be trying to stay alive. I'm going to try to have Brazil not rebel. I think we're going to do okay here. And I'm going to try and set France up and work with them to hopefully become revolutionary and powerful and invade Spain and come take Portugal so that we can trigger the flee to Brazil decision, which is historically accurate, and what we will do to make our formal transition to Brazil. In the meantime, I'm just going to be ticking the clock down, not going to show any of that, there's no point in that, and building up my international relations and waiting for my event to happen. What is it? And while this wasn't the specific event that I was hoping for, it is the larger of the two events that I was hoping for. The first event that I was hoping for has too much of a random time frame on it. It's got something like a 1200 month or something like that mean time to happen, and so I'm gonna skip it. It may happen still, but it actually technically happened before this, and that is the earthquake that hit Lisbon. An earthquake hit when was that? It hit in 1755, and it was almost a 9.0 on the Richter scale, an absolutely massive earthquake, which wrecked Lisbon, killing so many people. If first all the buildings fell down and the churches and homes, and if that didn't kill you, then the gigantic fire that occurred at that point would have killed you, and if that didn't kill you, the gigantic 30-foot tidal wave that swept in and wiped out the city would have killed you. Now, from the ashes, the literal ashes of the earthquake of Lisbon, rose this fellow, the Marquis de Pombal. And, it just says, I didn't read that, I swear, I read it from my history books, I wasn't even reading this. Okay, literally from the ashes. I'm awesome. You're awesome too for watching, thanks. Anyway, so I'll just read this. Actually, rose to power, managed to shake entire Portugal out of the trauma. He forced through many far-reaching reforms, and during his rule, Lisboa was rebuilt and Portugal entered into the pre-industrial era. So, good news. Now, where this guy went wrong is he brought a lot of forward thinking, a lot of forward momentum, but unfortunately, like many people who achieve power, it kind of went to his head. He was the primary minister of the king at the time. I don't believe it was this king. Where are we at? I don't believe it was João V. And he was trusted entirely by the king. There were a few, attempts on Pombal's life. People tried it, but every single time and every attempt that they made to not dethrone him, but depower him, it worked out not in their favor and in his favor. He was brought down a notch, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. The only thing I can really do, the only thing that I would do game-wise to imitate him, he definitely worked hard to strengthen the crown. And so I've already chosen this, major authoritarian bonus there. The only thing that I may do is start peeling off some of these estate privileges, the ones that take down absolutism. Say, like this one here, oversight by the clergy. What do we get? A loyalty equilibrium of 10, influence of 10, and it... Okay, so let's go ahead and take this one out. I think we can, right? And this is one of the things that Pombal started doing, is making the power of all the other groups less. I know I'm not really saying this in our the good English, and the power of the state more. And so I think that anything that we can get rid of, which has a penalty to absolutism on it, is definitely something that we want to get rid of. What says provincial trade power? Well, we'll stay with our trade power. Okay, burghers loyalty. This is basically almost the... Well, ship trade power. We want to stay with that. Okay, here's max. This is, I think, basically the same thing that I just killed on the church. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. And I'll be looking at more of these, but to simulate Pombal's consolidation of power and moving forward, well, I'll tell you what, we'll do something a little bit gameplay dumb, right? We're ahead of time. Well, let's go ahead and just punch ourselves up here in all the latest technologies in honor of Pombal. And heck, what kind of an idea group can we look at, which would be a really Pombaline idea? Court ideas? Kind of like that. I don't know what it does. Okay. Maybe court ideas. You know what? Let's go with innovative ideas. Pombal really did try to move Portugal into the modern future. Now, whether these ideas actually do that is something else. So, the year is 1729. I'm continuing to just watch international affairs. Poland is revolutionary, and they're pretty big at this point. So really, kind of the next and final thing we need to do is have somebody try to declare war on me. In reality, it was Napoleonic France. But we're going to keep pushing on this and see if somebody else steps up to the plate and tries to conquer Portugal so that we can flee to Brazil. Now, related to Pombal, here's another historically accurate event. Conspiracy to kill the king was revealed, prevented, allegedly, by the Marquis de Pombal. There's some controversy here. How much did Pombal know? How much did he not know? That's probably not really in doubt, but he cast a very wide net. So this is, I believe, a true and real conspiracy, but a lot of people were accused in it who possibly, and I just don't have the knowledge to make this, it's just what I read in books and the feeling that I get, so please forgive me, Portuguese cultural people who know what the heck they're talking about, and I don't. But he cast kind of a big, wide net. Well, here it is. He was very power-hungry, and without remorse, he hunted down anyone that could threaten him in the name of the king. So a lot of Pombal's enemies got swept up in this as well. And so we are definitely going to crush the opposition, because that is indeed what happened. Super historically accurate. In fact, let's go get him. Why not? Let's see some action. Get on in there, Pombal people. Yeah, that's right. Off with your head. Something else that's going on as Russia just flipped to revolutionary Russia. Poland is revolutionary Poland. The revolution is spreading inside Portugal. That's not super historically accurate. There were always people that had ideas about liberty and revolution and all that sort of thing, but Portugal was fairly conservative in that, and also they were fairly insulated from it. Revolutionary ideas didn't really spread that much from France through Spain into Portugal. So this, where are we at here? This is not too historically accurate. I wonder if there's a, I've never known this, if there's a edict that we can basically say, stop the madness, the revolution will not be televised. Okay, looks like not. So I'll just leave that as a comment. I'm sure I'll do whatever I can to fight against the revolution if it appears here, not join it. And in the meantime, I'm going to figure out what to do with over 900 diplomatic monarch points. So let's keep going. Okay, well, I'm off waging war in revolutionary Russia just because I've got nothing else better to do, and I'm trying to get rid of this crazy dreams of liberty nonsense that my, gosh, 1399 development. I thought I had something that made them not get so much from that. I mean, Brazil is just huge. They occupy practically like the entire continent. Anyway, here is the earthquake that destroyed Lisbon. Death count was estimated to be 20 to 40,000 people, given all four elements, wind, fire, earth, and water. And most people looked at it as a punishment by God. That was crazy. Yikes. Alright, onward to crush the rebellion in Russia, I think. Now, these events are historical, and they've all happened a bit more quickly than I expected them to happen, but whatever. The problem with Pombal is he made a lot of change, did a lot of good things, hurt a lot of people, made a lot of people upset, and his primary lifeline was through the king. The king, in the king's eyes, Pombal could do no wrong. But that all changes when the king dies. So you can see here, after the death of the king, forces that were conspiring to end his life basically turned their attention towards Pombal. And it's like, with no support, he was out. So we are going to do what was historically accurate. And Pombal is out of there. He's outie 5,000. We had a good run. A brief but good run. No matter what I do, I cannot get anybody to get frisky and attack me. It's 1775. I'd really like to move forward with the final move to Brazil. And again, we need to have, I think, less than 5 provinces to do that. So I was waiting for revolutionary France to exist. That didn't happen. I've tried attacking revolutionary Poland. They don't want to take my provinces. So it turns out that what we can do is attack revolutionary, or just straight Spain, which I'll go ahead and do. And I'm not even going to fight. I'm just going to basically hope that they attack me. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I don't even need to do that. I think I can just straight surrender. And let's just give away as many territories here as we can. Does that work? There we go. Alright, so I want to do this because I want to get this out of the way. This is, again, a short video. We're really going to just move on from EU4 at this point. Once you get to this late in the game, things just really kind of stagnate. What's the... Oh, we sent a diplomat. Okay, fine. So, well, I'll go ahead and just look around a little bit. Ottomans are huge. Gurkhani's huge. They don't do anything. I mean, France doesn't do anything. Sweden doesn't do anything. Russia doesn't do anything. Nobody does anything. Great Britain totally doesn't do anything. Which is kind of ridiculous, and super not historically accurate. So anyway, let's go ahead and just go through that surrender again. I don't even know if I can do it now that I'm fighting, but let's try and see how it goes. Hurry up. Oh, yeah, okay. So if we go ahead and do the surrender by ceding all these provinces, again, this is not what happened. It wasn't, well, in a way it kind of was Spain. So revolutionary France had basically struck a deal with Spain, and they were cooperating against England. And France was constantly trying to push Portugal into no longer having any relations with Great Britain. Closing their ports to Great Britain, embargoing them, and Portugal tried to just play the middle of the road for as long as they could, and finally Napoleon just said, enough is enough. We're going to go ahead and invade the country. And so they put significant portions of Portugal under occupation. When that happened, they had a contingency in place, and that was, so this goes, I like that there's a decision to do this, flee to Brazil, and that's what we're going to do. But what happened was the Portuguese court, the king and the Portuguese court, who's king right now? Jose? I don't think that's right, historically speaking. Possibly. Anyway, they had contingency plans. They basically have all the, well, definitely not this much. I mean, this is, again, not historically accurate. I've pointed that out before. But they had all these lands and a significant amount of trade and business in the colonies. So their plan was not to form the nation of Brazil, although that is what's going to happen right now, but rather to just evacuate the court there. So they moved the court from Lisbon to, I think, Salvador, really. I don't think it was Rio de Janeiro. Well, Salvador is up here in Bahia, if I recall. Is that really true? All right, somebody correct my geography. I should be looking this. It's almost like I'm making a video about Portugal and Brazil, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, let's roll with it because I'm ready to get this done. So when we do this, we'll go ahead and do it now. Okay, our state is going through a range of changes. Now, when this happened, when the Portuguese court fled, they did not, quote-unquote, become Brazil. It was just simply a relocation of the Portuguese court to the Brazilian landmass. Now, what that does in-game, you'll notice our flag changed already, is we are no longer Portugal, we are now Brazil. So that's cool from a video perspective, and I finally arrived at Portugal to Brazil, but it didn't go down like this. It actually went down much later, and in fact, just for historical accuracy's sake, we're going to fast forward to that very special time right now. And that was not true at all, because both Spain and Morocco are going to try to attack me. I was going to try and make it all the way to 1822. That is not going to happen. But I did pause on this very special day of the 7th of September. What had happened around, not this time, but much later in the 1820s, with the Napoleonic Wars over, King João VI basically returned, and his heir, Pedro, people were wondering if he was going to stay or not. And he, in fact, did stay. And it's celebrated on, up in my book here, January 9th in 1822, was Dia do Fico, the I Shall Stay Day, where it was like, you know what, I am not going back. I'm going to stay here. And he declared independence. And that date is the date that we are on right now, September 7th, 1822, saying, and I'm sure I'm going to make this pronunciation poorly, I apologize, Independência ou Morte, independence or death. Pedro declared Portuguese soldiers to be the enemy and took over the rulership as the Emperor of Brazil himself. And I can think of no better day than September 7th to congratulate all my Brazilian friends on their independence as of not 1788, but 1822. And this completes the EU segment of my Portugal, finally, to Brazil historical playthrough mega series. I will see you in Victoria 3. We're going to fast forward to the year 1836 and play as Brazil only from here on out. Let's see how it goes. Thanks for watching.